Good morning, Ray here, not that one. Well, this is an absolutely glorious morning. Yes, I'm in the canoe again. It's barely 2 weeks ago I was on a 4-day adventure on the Norfolk Broads, and this weekend, which has got the bank holiday Monday, I'm on a 3-day adventure on the River Stour, commonly called Sudbury to the Sea, or in this case Sudbury to Cattawade car park. Well, I had a bit of a change of plan yesterday evening. I was planning to go and park at Sudbury and then just paddle downstream with the flow till I got to Cattawade, then somehow get back to get my car. But that all sounded far too easy, nowhere near enough of a challenge. So I'm reversed things a bit. I've now parked at Cattawade car park and I'm now going to paddle upstream, potentially with a headwind later this afternoon, all the way to Sudbury, and then I'm going to twizzle round and then paddle all the way back, but with the flow, which should be a lot more fun. So yeah, so I'm in for the long haul. So by my reckoning, I'm going to be paddling over 50 miles to get there and back. I've got 3 days. I've got food and provisions for 3 days, and yeah, I'm really looking forward to it. It's going to be an absolutely brilliant weekend. Today the weather is fantastic. Sunday and Monday is not quite so. It's potentially going to be quite overcast. There is a small chance of some rain, but yeah, hopefully that won't happen. So yeah, it's going to be bloody great. So yeah, so let's get on with it. So for those people who aren't that familiar with the River Stour, it runs, I think altogether it's about 46 miles. It empties out near Harwich. This river forms the border between Suffolk and Essex. So when we stop for lunch, we'll try and make sure we're on the Suffolk side. And it's in the east of England, just up from London for any overseas visitors. Yeah, the last time I paddled this Stour would have been, it's best part of 10 years ago. If it's not 10 years, it's very close to it, just a few weeks away. So yeah, doesn't time fly when you're having fun, eh? There's some fairly fond memories of that trip, because that was pretty early on. You know, I hadn't long built this canoe back then, so it was all very fresh, and every trip was an adventure. So it was lovely actually. I don't know why there's so many people there, but I think it's got something to do with this old geezer. I don't know, some old boy called John Constable. I think he did a few paintings around here, from what I remember. Yeah, he did a couple of paintings, and yeah, obviously they captured the public's imagination, and now it's all it's all very busy. Good old John. There was a few other people as well. Some other old boy called Thomas Gainsborough. He did a bit of painting around here, and, you know, and why wouldn't you? It's especially when they were painting, it was an even absolutely fantastic place, I would imagine, because there'd have been hardly anybody here. It would have been really nice and peaceful and quiet. This Canadian, oh dear, Canadian goose thought he was going to have a fight with the canoe and thought better of it. Yeah, so anyway, so thanks to those guys. This is a very popular place. I am really looking forward to this trip, and I have been for a while. Yes, so I am expecting, well, not expecting, today will be the hardest day because I'm going to be going upstream all day, and I am hoping to really break the back of this upstream section today. I really want to at least get up to Bures, possibly slightly further than that, till I find a nice place to camp. So yeah, so that's the plan. So I started early. I left home. Well, I woke up at just before 5:30. Was in the car by 6. I was down here 10 to 7, and yeah, I was pretty much on the river straight away. Bit of faffing around with the cameras as you do, but yeah, obviously for your benefit. So I hope you bloody appreciate the time I'm spending doing all this filming and recording and trying to make things more interesting for you. My viewing public, small in number but growing. So we're now on a section, we've passed Judas Gap, and we're now heading up this quite leafy overgrown section, but somebody's been very busy chopping bits of tree off, which is quite nice. But anyway, that's at Flatford Mill. Probably one of Constable's most famous paintings, called the Haywine, was painted in front of Flatford Mill and shows the mill pond at Willie Lott's house. So the other thing coming up here is going to be my first portage. So there is, I think, at least 10 portages on this trip. A couple of them are quite long, some are quite short. There's a couple of pretty awkward ones, and I will be encountering a great deal of them today. Flatford Mill Lock. Hopefully we don't bump your head. Right, well, here we go. The first of many. That is the first portage out of the way. One down, a hell of a lot more to go. This is the Flatford Bridge, which didn't exist when Constable completed his painting, the Haywine, because this was just a ford. Which is why it's called Flat Ford. The clue is in the name. And arguably this is possibly one of the nicest stretches of rivers. But certainly in this area. Fantastic walks along here as well. But yeah, really nice. So this whole area is called Dedham Vale. It is a really, really lovely stretch. And at the moment, it is like a mill pond. I do try to mix things up a bit, but as you appreciate, there's only so many angles you can get when you're in a canoe. Looking back, looking forwards. I did do the high view just a little while ago, which hopefully will be a welcome change. So very, very shortly here, I'm going to just pull over and have a spot of breakfast, because I did bring a breakfast with me. I'm sure you'll never guess in a million years what that is, but I'll give you a clue. It's got some Greek yogurt in it. Not the old Greek style stuff, no, proper Greek yogurt, full fat. is there any other kind? I'm certainly going to need the fat today because I'm going to burn a few calories. Morning.
Morning, all right.
Fantastic, yeah, what a lovely day.
Yeah, nice and still, isn't it?
It's lovely, yeah. I just heard a bittern boom. Ah, there's a swan up there in the reeds. Can you see it just up there? Sitting on a nest that I wouldn't be surprised. Yes, I think we'll give this one a try here. Yep, this looks like a decent spot for some brekkie. Park him up there. We've only cleaned through half the tree here, and that is, oh no, that's sturdy enough. Oh. Right, as you can see, my rather fetching attire, this time of year, shorts is the only thing for me, but I have bought some long trousers because, and my canoe shoes, and you can see my lovely white ankles, so I'm going to have to put some cream on those, but they're also not very nettle friendly, so if I any nettles higher than that, I'm in trouble. I always seem to leave the microphone right where I'm making the most rustling, so I'm going to try and stop that habit right now. Pretty large pork pie, so I need to eat that fairly sharply because that weighs probably half a kilo. Maybe a slight exaggeration, but it's certainly very heavy. So in here's the old favourite, Greek yoghurt mixed in with some kefir yoghurt and some frozen berries, and then a few nuts. So this is packed full of protein. Yes, that's quite nice. As you can see, the wound I received on the chalk way is healing up now. It's still, I've got some steri strips, 3M steri strips holding the cuts together. It's shortened a lot. Too good to waste, Danny. Oh, that was lovely. Right, so this is going to be portage number 2 so far. Hiya. Wow. Wow. I did my hair this morning as well. Thank you. So this is Brundon Mill. Some lady there very appreciative of my canoe, I think. Or me. Yeah, I think those days are probably long gone. Yeah, this one's a long one, so gonna have to ship everything out. Right, that's one of the longest portages, I think. I certainly hope so. My shoulders are already feeling the pressure from the thwart. Yeah, I'll be alright. So now we head down this section, and now it is, yeah, down here and under the A12 to the next portage. Okay, this is what a very busy A12 sounds like. Which is lovely, isn't it? The disturbances of our modern world. And you'll find this quite amusing. Today, the wind is blowing towards the sea from Sudbury, so I've got headwind. Tomorrow it's moving around slightly more to the north and I'll have a side wind, which is going to be obviously a bit colder. And then on Monday it's moving around even further, so I will have a headwind on the way back. You really couldn't make it up. And I've been busy working on a roof on this little barn project I've been working on. There's been virtually no wind, it's been blisteringly hot all week, and then the very time I want to get away for the weekend, we've got 3 days of forecast wind. So Canoe up here, I was trying to think of, as I was paddling along, I was trying to think of the benefit of all these weirs and locks that I'm having to portage around. And obviously the biggest benefit is they maintain the water level, clearly. So although I am paddling upstream, there isn't really any flow one direction or another, which is rather nice. Look at this, what a lovely, lovely place. Fish jumping, millions of shades of green off all the trees and vegetation, nettles. Yeah, no, it's a tremendous spot, absolutely tremendous spot. I really don't know why I've left it nearly 10 years to do it again. I really don't know. Because I have been a fairly frequent visitor on most of the other rivers, except for this one. Obviously it's a bit further from home, but then so's the Norfolk Broads, so it's no excuse, is it? To the tranquil waters with just a bird song to disturb me. And that's one disturbance I can put up with all day long. Ah, portage, eh? No worries. Enjoy your day. Right, well as it turns out, this is probably one of the shortest portages because I've just put my bags there. We've got a sign there, obviously full of common sense. And then the canoe is just about there. A few short steps. Right, here we are. I've made it to Langham Flumes. The last section here was, yeah, quite a struggle paddling upstream. It's quite. I knew I was getting close to this because there was so much flow on the water, but got here okay. Managed to reach the portage point, and I've just been looking at it because when I come back, I'm very keen to run this, so I'm going to run that left-hand flume. There's a couple of eddies in the middle, and I've got to just keep to the side of that, to the left-hand side of a stick in the water, and make sure I come down the middle of this bit. And by the looks of it, I should be okay. That's the plan at the moment, unless I chicken out between now and then. So I've had a boiled egg, 3/4 of a pork pie, bag of crisps, made a coffee, a few chocolate bickies, and yeah, and it's now coming up 11:45, so not bad timing from here. Right, well we've now left Langham Flumes behind, so hopefully now the flow will be a bit easier, well at least for a little while. We're now heading up towards Boxted, where the bridge is closed, so we have to, I think, portage around that as well, which is a bit of a pain. It's a very tight section here, and that's on your side where the camera is, so that's got to be a little bit problematic, isn't it? Oh. And of course the flow was picked up considerably, so seem to be snagged up on something. That's better. That's released me, whatever it was. Rather large collection of debris. Not ideal. Got some more here. I was trying hard not to knock the camera off and not really concentrating on what I was doing. Yeah, just like that. Hi, I'm now at Brundon Mill. Quite hard work getting up this last section to here, but yeah, still, there we are. Small matter now getting a canoe round. On a section with slightly less flow at the moment, although there's quite a bit of wind or flow blowing around this corner, one or the other. I suspect it's wind. You will probably notice that I'm wearing a very silly hat. I'm not really one for wearing hats, but that sun has been pretty strong, so I thought I ought to put it on, just protect my neck, although I have sun creamed up at Langham Flumes while I was there. Thought that was the wise thing to do. Oh, blimey, now we're in the wind. Chances are it's going to blow my hat off, I suspect. I mean, I could say I could always stop early. Oh, there's a... yes, there's a swan sitting on a nest, so I rather suspect that's the counterpart. That's the way he did a damn good job. He saw me right off. There's certainly a lot of paddle boarders at Langham Flume. Yeah, there was a lot of people there. I was surprised. Sorry, I haven't mentioned that you had a little swim back there, so you were obviously getting a bit warm. Luckily, you don't appear to have taken any harm. That is why I've got that bit of wire tethering you on. Otherwise, you would have been a goner. Yeah, I think one of these reeds is working out which channel to go up. There are several channels to choose from. I'll tell you what, when that sun comes out, that is baking hot. That it is. I'm sure someone is waiting for me to say, it'd be nice if the wind blew to cool me down, but I'm not going to say that. Maybe a tiny, gentle, little teeny weeny breeze. So I've got a message for some people. If you're the kind of person who pays £30 or £40 gym membership per month, I tell you what, if you put that money towards a canoe and went canoeing, that wouldn't be a bad thing to do, because it is a pretty much all over workout. And that doesn't, you think that's all arms, but it's not. It's arms, back, torso, midsection, your legs, and that's before you have to do a portage. And that's dragging a heavy canoe around, lifting it in and out of the water, carrying your bags. It's a lot more fun than sitting in the gym looking at the walls. Well, unless you're in one of those gyms where there's other nice things to look at. I think all in all, this is probably about the best time I could have picked to do this, really. it's warm enough to be nice without being unbearable. The water levels are reasonable, which is quite nice. So the days are, you know, relatively long. When I was up at 5:30 this morning, it was pretty light. It's got to be light until, I guess, 8:30 anyway, so that's quite a long day. Long enough canoeing day, that's for sure. Yes. I had a fantastic view of a kingfisher a little while ago. I was just passing the high bank and it flew out literally right in front of me. It just obviously come out of its hole. And then, yeah, save the camera. So you don't want another wash. Yeah, so that's nice. I've seen a fair mixture of other birds, quite a lot of waterfowl of one sort or another. Swans and geese, obviously, ducks of all sorts. Saw a cormorant just a short while ago. Lots of smaller birds. Got a cuckoo calling now. Did you hear that? So I've heard quite a few willow warblers. I've seen quite a number of reed buntings, especially earlier on. Yes, these reeds are a bit of an obstacle. Oh, come on. Couple of doggies. Oh. I knew I didn't put these shoes on for no reason. Hello. Sorry? Well, it's a bit of a flow, but it's very shallow. You can't get any power. Yeah, it just goes shallow and it speeds up, but that'll be right in a minute. Yeah, I've walked up here before, so I'm looking forward to going back. I think I'll have to empty, oh shit, empty the water out of this canoe when I get back up here. Hello. Crikey, there's a small army of people here. Nothing like having an audience. The anchor in. That does look rather inviting. And then some. Right, well, I've left the anchor, had a pint of Aspels, which used to be my favourite tipple, and I'm now up to Triple Weir in Ireland, so it's not such a bad portage past this. Right, this is the Nyland Tunnel. I got talking to some chap back there, back the Canoe, surprisingly enough. So I wanted to have the camera mounted for this and I didn't, so. But anyway, maybe I'll get something better on the way back. So when I did this trip with my partner, which was about 10 years ago, we, like I said, we parked at an island, we went down to Cattawade, and then we canoed back. We got as far as the anchor. I'm imagining it must have been about 7 o'clock. We'd had quite a full-on day, and we thought it would be jolly nice to stop on the anchor and have an ale or two and a nice meal, which we did. So we had a pretty decent meal, 2 courses. We had quite a few drinks. By the time we left the anchor, it was probably gone 10, it was obviously proper dark. And we negotiated all this section, up past that Triple Weir, all the way round here, in the dark. There must have been a bit of a moon out because, as I recall, we didn't have any trouble seeing. We were rather merry with ale. And my partner was very merry with about a bottle and a half of white wine. And yeah, so we had a white laugh and a giggle coming down here. But we did survive to tell the tale, and we ended up, as I'm going back up, I'm going to try and work out exactly where it was. I know the exact spot, I'll never forget it, but I know it was at a mill, so whether it was the first mill we came to or the second one, but it was one of them first mills. And at that time I had a canvas tarp, which I had the foresight to put in a canoe along with the sleeping bags and stuff. And yeah, we spent the night under the tarp. I did the usual thing, put the canoe on the side, strung a tarp over the top, and we tucked ourselves underneath that and had a really bloody good night's sleep. A really good night, actually. I was up quite early in the morning and then continued our way up towards Sudbury. Now I've got 2 things for me this weekend. I did indulge myself in a new hooped bivvy by Alpkit. They were on a bit of an offer. I did have one years ago, and then I wasn't really using it much, and foolishly I sold it. But anyway, I've bought another one. So I've got the options of the Alpkit bivvy, or I have actually still brought my hammock. I was going to leave the hammock behind, but then last minute I thought, no, let's take it, because if we are in an area where there's a couple of trees, that'd be quite nice. And I can tell you, when you're approaching these, when you're fairly well, I wouldn't say completely pissed, but certainly well on the way to being pissed in the dark, it does sort of focus your attention a bit. Yeah, so this is the spot. I knew I recognised it. So yeah, we had the canoe parked here and sheeted over. Well, it was there or somewhere along this path. I think it was here where it's a bit wider. And yeah, that was a lovely night. Just could hear the water rushing over there. And yeah, it's very nice actually. Not the lowest thing I've been under today, because we went under a tree and I actually had to lie down in the canoe, but this was going to be a pretty close second, so I'm definitely going to have to lay down. I'm not sure about you guys, but yeah, it's got to be a bit of a duck, isn't it? Oh, watch your head, watch your head. Oh, crikey, Riley. Oh, we're through. This will make you laugh. I've got a big bottle of Avon Skin So Soft. And it does make the skin soft. But it's also bloody good at repelling midges and gnats and mosquitoes, etc, etc. You wouldn't think so. The first time I heard it was in Scotland. I thought the woman was just having a joke with us, but actually it does actually work. It works very well, in fact. Which was a bit of a joke between me and my mates back in the day. I did. I wish I'd have kept it a bit lower. It wouldn't catch the wind as much. Thank you. It's a bit of a sail. Oh, this place is absolutely packed, isn't it? It's good to see people out enjoying themselves. It's certainly packed in. Sunset Corner. Oh, I'm not a big fan of portaloos on campsites. Nasty, hot, smelly things in my experience. Right, reached the next weir. This is Wormingford. So another little portage to do here. That's about 5:15, I would imagine. And thankfully at the moment the wind seems to have died down a bit, which is a real bonus, because some of that last section has been a real struggle. Really battling against a very strong side and headwind. Really tough going. So I'm now pleased that the flow will reduce and hopefully the wind will reduce, so happy days. That's one thing, struggling against the current, but when you're struggling against the current and the wind, it makes it very difficult. Very difficult. It's hampering my progress somewhat and it's tiring me out, which is very annoying. Just every now and again you get a section like this, it's bloody brutal. Come on. Blowing the bloody canoe onto the bank. You lost?
Checking progress.
You're almost at Wormingford.
Nice house. Is that yours?
You're almost at Wormingford.
Oh, Wormingford.
Yeah, Wormingford, yeah, portage just up there. So no, no, unfortunately that's not my house. I wish it was.
You've put a superior boat craft.
Well, yeah, I haven't got that much money though. Right, I'm not quite sure what's going on up here, but I've just battled for the last mile against the most insane, current. Bloody hell! It's why I've taken the fleece off. I'm boiling. God, that's been hard work. So I think we're coming up to a mill, so whether the sluice has opened a little bit, I don't know, but God, blimey, yeah. I'm going to be honest, I really was questioning whether I'd actually be able to get up it. It was so hard. I had to stop twice for a break. I daren't put the camera up because I'll probably knock it off again into the blasted water, so I've attached you to the front seat this time, so hopefully you'll be safe. And it's a slightly different perspective. Oh, that's a blue sign, I think. What's that? Maybe says Weir. Sign with something on it, some warning sign. Yes, I can hear it. There's a dangerous structure ahead. Use the portage. Probably the last little bit of real effort to get up to it, I suspect. Yeah, that's definitely the mill there. Look at that beautiful place. Yeah, this is the one with the ditch. I'm going to put a dangerous structure up ahead. How the hell are you going to paddle up that? Got no choice but to use the bloody portage. I think this is the one which is automatic, so I'm just wondering whether that has let the water out a bit. Oh, water level's quite high here. Oh. Right, let's just turn you around so you can see what's going to happen. I think I'm going to have to push it up there as far as I can and then just launch myself up to those flight of stairs and then try and get out. You would think somebody could come up with something a bit better than this one. Not seen many other canoeists for a while now. I did meet two lads near Wormingford Mill. I've not seen anybody else since then. But this is Bure's Mill. So I've no idea what Bure's recreation ground is all about, I'm sure. Maybe that's the sort of place where there's a few little tucked away corners you can hide up or what, I don't know. No idea. Yeah, don't catch me. Right, we're now made it to this funny little weir that's got a chute in the middle, which I don't know whether my canoe would fit in between that or not. It may do, but it looks like it's got concrete sides, so it's getting quite late now and I'm more than a little knackered. So I am considering setting myself up just here. Because it's got to be getting on, but I can't imagine there'll be too many people down here now. I'll pull the canoe down to this near here, so this is Lamarsh Weir. When you're coming from this way, you can't even see that bit in the middle. And I suppose there's a very small doak, so I don't think I should be running that particularly. Oh, I've actually tied the canoe back to the fence, and I've just boiled some water up. I'm just going to have some food and then a coffee and see, I mean, whether anyone's going to wander along here or not. It's getting up 7:30, so I wouldn't have thought so. So then I'll probably just string my tarp over the top, and yeah, don't know what I'm going to do. Actually, I might. I've got that hoop bivvy, so I might just slide into that. I'll probably just slide into that, and I've got a mat. It's either that or I lie on the hammock, but I might get in the hoop bivvy. So yeah, that's the plan. So today I have paddled upstream from Cattawade to Lamarsh Weir. I reckon in anybody's book that is fairly bloody good going. That has been a struggle at times. There's been a few hard sections. I did stop in the anchor and had a pint. Other than that, I have been on the go pretty much the whole time. I stopped a couple of times just for a quick bite to eat, but I didn't spend long anywhere. So to get here, yeah, it's pretty good going. So I've certainly broke the back of the hard stuff, I think. Well, now that sun's gone down, that is starting to get a bit chilly. I don't think it'll be long. I'm just going to finish my coffee and my food, and then I'm going to get this tarp set up. I think I will sleep well tonight.